And depend man. For the simple fact that I believe in God, yeah, well, that's why I go there when I put and I hate Christianity for not allowing me to go there. How do I not go there when I'm a Christian? When I'm supposed to claim Christianity, but you're telling me not to go there. It goes back to what I was saying, which you can't tell me. Yeah, born at this thing. Just that thing.
Amehlo nayinkinga nayinkinga izinto like abantu mabaphuma and then they talk about the Liimbo and what happens there. I feel like most of the stories like are not making sense. Bayenza examples like causing accidents and blood and yabona nje izinto nje superficial, you know, like they would talk about influencing the US government to uh make up some plans, create some cosmetics, all from the Liimbo. So it's kind of like it's not making sense. Like
I know,
yeah,
why it doesn't make sense. Two women cannot use limbo to our advantage, meaning that me and you only use limbo to sleep and dream, right? And when we're dreaming in that dream state, we justify limbo as a dream state. But Bona, they have tapped it so much that they know that here in limbo, I can actually go to somebody's coordinates and me and him can form some kind of connection here in limbo and meet up. So imagine, because limbo is a place, remember that we also put in spirits there, right? Meaning that you go in the spiritual form and then you go there. And other spirits who it is the spiritual form, it is the spiritual. So the spirits there can, I don't want to say manipulate, but can control themselves, can control anything in limbo. Meaning that if they want to meet up somewhere, they can.
okay. This draws
Yeah,
me.
it may sound far-fetched right now, yeah, but once, yeah, yeah.
Sorry, it draws me back to this chakra system, where they actually like meditate, get to their higher self to the point where they ngala and dream.
Kundalini.
They have control over the dreams. Like they would do lucid dreaming for the rest of their lives. Like to dream and be aware that you're dreaming. That's I didn't like get to the level where I
I
can
was
do
too. I'm just
lucid dream all the way. Like you can train yourself. You can train yourself to get to that level.
Diane. In that thing, this lucid dreaming, do they often speak about the tether? That means the connection to you and your body. You should never lose that connection. Where are you saying? Like
Mhm.
there's a rope that connects you to the body and never cut the connection because a spirit will take over.
Yeah, that's so good. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's a tether. Tether.
Yeah. No,
Yeah,
TH.
yeah, something like not just tether, it's TH or something. Eish, yabona ukuthi vele ah i- when now when you go out of your dream, when you go out of your spiritual body, there's this light connection. It's a connection. You should never. Yeah, man. Mm, mm, mm. And they have the power to cut that tether, bro, and take over your body, bro. That's it.
Mm.
Limbo.
Uthola ukuthi
Emkhathini, bro.
sesathatha usumuntu sekunamanye ama-possessions phakathi
Sesibuyela kuwona amanje letindo buti.
betinto.
Letindo labantu.
Ngicabanga ukuthi Pisa, manifuna uthetherisha. Like I'm feeling nearby at night. Okay. Oh, like, you know, it hurts. hear me?
Yeah, we hear you. We hear you.
Ooh, la. Abafuni ngichiphile. Abafuni. Ngidlala. It's your network, I think. I'm at your
Let's
network.
speak as I speak as man. The audio speaker. Carry on, carry on.
Okay, so there's this herb that you can actually drink, and it can like help you to lucid dream, like vividly. So even astral projection, just be like awake in your dream, where aware what you are actually dreaming in everything. It's called Zoe Pants, but you don't have to drink it like in high doses. Yeah,
That's what that much now.
yeah.
So what that? I'm like,
What you
let's
forgot?
put again, man. There you go.
Yeah. So you can drink that, but not in high doses. Kumele uqale kancane, and then you train your body. Uve ukuthi okay, mangilala at this dose. Maybe mawuthola isashe, right? Ushaye hafini. Drink it and then sleep, and then you see how you react to that. And then if you are going to say, okay, actually I have a good reaction to this tea, then ngakusasa say you can drink the whole sachet. I don't know if it's South Africa bayayithengisa, but it's something that is like should be available, international.
Mm.
With that tea, it opens up like basically like crazy.
Korea service. Service. Manje ngifuna kuthini manje? Oh, ebabe, DMT, man kusho njalo ndoda nasokhuluma aska ndoda, man uthi DMT ba. Mm. Yeah. Ebabe, you wanna win it?
Safest. You don't need DMT. Take Muga tea, bro. Muga tea is the way.
Awuva ngiyawatshela amadoda athi Kundalini ngisebabe ukhuluma ngani aba wena? Uphinda ama-DMT wena. But no, you don't have to do ah oh oh yeah, since maturities was here. Oh, amen. I'm glad, man. I left what did they say? They said something like that, then I left, but then I was ready, then it was nothing serious or nothing heavy, I can't even something I say, but I'm like, no, this argument is useless. Only this is useless for me at that point. Because concerning like when go deep down with those man, don't do that.
I see kundi.
Ah, we got sister pass. Yes, sister pass. She took the whole shit, bro. She took the whole nigga and sent them niggas just I couldn't. I couldn't.
Listen, I think we can all learn from each other, but I don't think that people should try to change you. If you're willing and you want to, you will. If you're not in that space, you will not. So, forcing somebody to do something the right way.
Don't you tell me your name, change that, and try to change your stations. I don't know. I want to shut up, man.
How you doing, sister? Is it Chios? Yeah, I'm okay. Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you. Yeah, we just yeah talking. Yeah, yeah. I was here before my daughter's school was in the prayer. My daughter's school before I came around. Okay, I got it up and I wasn't done with prayer, so I went back. Mhm. Yeah, I get a morning prayer every morning. Try to. I think knowledge is power. You know, so I think we should always be eager to learn, especially things that we don't know. But I think it's your choice, like I said before, to make that step in what you believe in, what you see.
Oh, sorry. What am I doing? Sorry, to continue.
No, that's what I wanted to say. Yeah.
Powers and principalities, but
You must create a WhatsApp. Create a WhatsApp. Create a WhatsApp group and then you share via video call. That would be much better.
No, but send a PDF through WhatsApp, man. Yeah. Telegram is safe for me. Telegram is safe for me.
Why did you put my name there? Weird. Oh, okay.
Fuck, man, of course.
Flagging.
I don't share. Me, I don't share. I
I
don't share.
understand, I understand his standpoint of not sharing some of this information because many people are, I wouldn't say, are not conscious. I would say they're not awake or they're not intellectual. It's about entertainment. Sometimes they're not ready and it's like misinterpret the information if you tell them. They'll think you're crazy or something.
I mean, me, I don't share, man. I'm afraid. Because me, man, the type of things I speak, man, I'll have a white at the car and stand outside of the age, man. I'm okay, man. I don't want that thing.
Hey, remember what happened to those guys in South Africa? Those used to share about like the secrets of Christianity and stuff. Most of them were like killed, analyzed.
It's
So,
also like the same thing I asked him. Was it, who is this? You speak. You're talking about this.
and it's not just that like you're seeing the beans wrong.
You know, we just talking, but we confused. We had mentioned that because I think my age at all. Because in our confusion, we can hear the truth. You know what? That is safe, man. That is safe. You know, you are playing it safe. You should do it like that. Don't do it like this, man. Where you know, you're talking about other things, man. Don't do it like this, man. Because
Mm.
here we're talking to people, and we're talking about things they don't want out there. You must do when I'm, you must do. Don't, if me, I'm showing you panel if I'm the first one. I won't show you panel because I'm the first one. Because at the end of the day, when I'm it was me and you talking, and we were dropping certain places and we were doing certain things. And you must remember that the people who came upon panel are the people that seem to agree with us and not even agree with what we were talking about, but seem to want to find answers within what we were talking about. They who wanted to come and debate us. When it was easy for a Muslim to come up and debate us, it was easy for another Christian to say, "Hey, you are not a believer but when you are busy talking crap and you know you are this kind of Christian, you are this kind of Christian." But why did they not come up? Because we invite you, you share that I don't share as well. Doing dangerous things. But fine, yeah, I'm an angel. I realized that my way of thinking is dangerous. I don't know why at the end of the day, because okay, I can make sense and it's dangerous sense at the end because I mean you always speak about the things I believe in. There's no confusion there. When I justify every day, bro. I justify every day within the context of God. Number one. And I've never quoted the Bible again. Because I chapter 1, verse chapter 1, I don't do that. But I'm still dangerous because I touch on what Christians don't want to touch on.
What is wrong with quoting the Bible?
There's nothing wrong with quoting the Bible. I'm just saying I don't do it. And
I'm,
what listen,
I'm gonna
and
I'm
I'm
gonna
so
say
I'm so I'm so dangerous that even in my non-quoting of the Bible, I can justify things through the Bible and through God. Then how then do you say you can quote the Bible when you can justify the Bible? Yeah, because I'm like have been here all morning even. Yeah, just discussing it. And I've provided so much clarity, like all these words he had to me, so much clarity. I've never left accused about anything. Yeah, at all, through my beliefs and my God. And that's very, very dangerous, bro. I'm very, very dangerous. Because even if you touch on things that Christian doesn't want to touch on.
okay.
And you know Orthodox Christianity, it's against you touching in certain topics.
No, I think
I'm very aware. I'm very aware of Sister Paz. I left Sister Paz those guys yesterday. Which you had, well, Sister Paz and it was like this other guy. Now you know what? This debate is useless.
I mean
It was a fun debate. It was a nice debate, but totally useless. It reached a point where it was just useless.
Yeah, you know why I felt it was useless? Because at that point they just wanted to give information. They didn't want to take any information. And I mean, or whatever his name was, he was clear with that. He said that we found that what we were thinking was wrong. And I don't agree with it because what I think is my belief and you don't believe it, but that doesn't mean you're going to force your believing on me. But I can't listen to what you have to say because, I mean, I don't know everything. And it's crazy to me if you call yourself a knower and then when I tell you you're all knowing, you're all no.
Contradiction.
So, yes, exactly. That is a big contradiction.
So at the middle, I just reached a point where I said, you know what? Okay, bye-bye, my lord. We good.
Yeah.
Because I can't you can't tell me that I'm wrong. And then allow me I will never fight. I don't do what I do with women. Like I could raise my voice and do all of that, but the way I feel, it can't be both things up. Because we're not, it's not like, plus, we're not saying, hey, we're not saying the truth over here. And not true, and not the life.
Yay.
Hey, Diana.
Yeah.
Mm, mm. Don't worry, we are safe hands. We are safe hands. Well, I don't know
You know
about
what I
me,
think?
but
You know what
the
I think
ladies are
though?
safe hands.
The reason why I say that, why are you saying you don't quote the Bible? If it's just like a history book, is it not?
That's what I was saying. Abraham went through. What Abraham went through doesn't affect me. You know what Moses did, and I may take the Ten Commandments, okay, but Moses doesn't make sense to me. It's irrelevant about this thing, and that's
It's a
where we
history
listen.
story.
Yeah, it's a history story, and Shalazuru is a history story. Even Jan van Rieck is a history story. You know, and the Roman Caesar is a history story now. Yeah, man. But then, what do we take from the history story when we can define that there are such things that are defined as universal law, that are defined as kinetic law, one of these things that are defined as God law? We are born. Then we separate the premise of everything. Who then do we lean on?
I'm gonna say
Do we
this though.
lean
I'm gonna
on a
say this.
history book or do we lean on law?
I mean, both. Because they always say the person that writes the history book is the person that survived, right? So it's not here or there.
Let us try and define one thing. Most people who
Mm-hmm.
go through these history books, right, and they tend to go through the history books for moral and for moral compass help or something, for moral compass guiding or moral compass finding.
Not only moral compass to guide, but to know more of what happened before, how people lived before, how we should live now. We look for guidance. I mean, everybody is looking for a way to do things better. Like, let me give a simple example. 3 generations ago, in my family, we used to spank our kids. Yeah.
Mhm.
Uh, as that went along, it became less. You know, um, I'm the third generation, right? And now
Mhm.
I speak more to my kids than I spank my kids. Not saying that I don't do what was traditionally done before. Yes, I do, but I don't do it as my first instinct. Because just like how my mother taught her mother was too aggressive with it, and she spoke to me a little more than my grandma did to her, I speak more to my kids than she spoke to me. You understand what I'm saying?
I understand perfectly.
So that's how I see us looking back in history to learn from those things as well. So when I say that the Bible is like a history book, I'm talking about things what we've learned. Why should we not learn from it? Because it's been so long ago. Is that the reason why we shouldn't learn from it? Because people say that it's corrupt. I mean, people can tell us anything. You know?
Are you familiar with the concept that history is somewhat of a trend, that history tends to repeat itself?
Yes, of course. I mean, are you trying to tell me stories in the Bible don't come forth once again?
No, I'm actually justifying that they do.
Oh, yes, I know, but
That's why you need
somebody
to
saying yesterday that
try
they
to
did
justify that
things.
they do. Now you
Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
can continue.
No, I was just saying that somebody was saying yesterday that things that happened in the Bible don't happen nowadays. Well, I
I
disagree.
argue that they
I
do.
mean,
Me too.
yeah, I mean, there was I've read in the Bible about people with multiple wives. I mean, that is still going on today. In places in the world, there are men with multiple wives. Yeah, I
Mhm.
mean, in the Muslim religion, it is literally allowed if you have wealth to have at least 5 wives.
So basically, here's what I'm saying, right? We look to the Bible, so that history, to look to avoid history in somewhat of a sense. So you know that King Solomon had many wives, right? So what
Okay.
drove King Solomon to that, right? So you can easily identify it now. Meaning that if I'm a man reading the book of King Solomon, right,
Mm-hmm.
and finding out how Solomon lived his life, right, it is one of two things. It's either I'm looking for some of advice that would help me in lack of a better word, manage my polygamy, right? And again, as women, please don't be offended by the word manage the polygamy, because it's just a word in mind. It's to describe what he is personally looking for when he is reading the book of Solomon, right? And then the second thing, it is him trying to figure out how his role model did things, meaning that he idolizes uh, Solomon and is looking for Solomon's moral weaknesses when it came to how his polygamy ended and how his, meaning that whatever he justifies reading the book of Solomon, he's still looking for moral compass, right? Now, what I'm saying is that that is not a bad thing. That is, I condone that. But for me, it doesn't make sense because history does repeat itself. In that, if I'm gonna be Mangoba, right, and I'm Mangoba, I will I will be me as much as I am me. But who being me, and history will replay itself, and it doesn't require me to go and read Moses's biography. It will simply happen because that is how it is. It goes back to what I touched on, that there are different laws that govern life, and it is certifying that these things coincide, meaning that it's not to say that because we call it karmic law, or we call it kemetic law, or we call it God law, or we call it universal law, that these things do not intertwine in certain things, because they are different. But it is, what can I say? He touched on the masters too, that these people, that your master masons, that these people that came up with these laws were not simply how do I put this? We're not simply coming up with jokes or something, or parables or whatever. No, these are laws. Like, these are things that are set straightforward. And if you go back to what Among reference when he touched on universal law, that the mind is a tool for creation, that the mind sparks creation, and yet we just had an argument that the mind cannot come up with something new. And yet we agree that it is the spark of creation, and then you can use your body, your hands, your tools, your eyes to create, right? And it is true, that is true, and yet the mind cannot come up with something new. That is universal law. The mind will
Wait, wait,
never
wait,
come up.
wait. Who said that? Who said our mind cannot come up with something new?
Here we go again, Sister Diane. Can you handle that, Sister Diane?
No, the reason why I'm saying it is because our mind has never been fully studied. I mean, we literally use what less than a fourth of our mind, our head, our brain. We
And I
don't
don't want
use
to
our whole
ask you what
brain.
I asked Sister Diane. Okay, you seem like a well-educated person. Can you come up with something new? You don't have to make it physical. It doesn't have to be physical. You can give it physical properties. You can give it physical traits, meaning that you can describe it and make us see it. Right? You don't have to create it physically and hold your tools and build it. But would you just come up with something new?
You mean to make a vision of something
Not
new?
in a not in a vision, just something new under the
Mm.
and do not mash up things you know in life. I mean, do not mash up a unicorn with a centaur or a minotaur. Do not even do not even make
Yeah,
it about
those things already
there already.
have been visualized. They were already been visualized. That's why you can speak about them.
Now let's come up with something new.
Something new.
I've been at it for 4 years. Bear in mind that I'm willing to admit that for 4 years I've been trying to come up with something new. And bear in mind, there are new things all around us. The Tesla is new; it's an electric driving car, right? But the concept
Yes, but
itself
it's
has
not
been
new.
the
It's not
car
new.
itself is not new. New things are there all over the place. But let us come up with something new under the sun.
No, there's nothing new under the sun. I'm assuming
You
because
don't even have to assume. You just have to dedicate yourself and think of something new.
yeah, but like right now, like you just said, I'm thinking about it, and because you think then of fairy tales, you think then about things that have not existed, you think then about things that are existing, you think about combining things to make something new. But even things that you combine are still not new because they already exist. They're just a combination of something to make something like new, but still not
Universal
new.
law. Universal law. The mind cannot come up with something new under the sun.
Mm.
And trust me, I've been at it, bro.
But if we're fair though,
Hmm.
in the
You know how
before,
I went. You know how far I went. I went so far as to say that the guy that made the chip ready made something new. That the guy that allowed for all of this technology, for all of this, that hey, this thing actually sits within a chip. You can program a chip to do anything. Meaning you can make a chip be a robot, you can make a chip be a computer, you can make a chip be, but then the chip itself was definitely something new.
no, it wasn't because it had different traits already made
My
for the chip.
argument was flawed, and I accepted that
Mm,
that argument myself was flawed. Then
mm,
we went back to the same premise: nothing new under the sun.
true.
True, universal
Okay.
law.
But I think it's because we don't know how to use our full mind though.
You may say that,
Imagine, yes,
but it
we
still
don't. We
doesn't change the law.
if I think if we can, we yeah, I don't know how we would be able
And here's the premise of
to.
the argument, right? Here's the premise of the argument that people are struggling to get open their kundalinis and do all these things to do something new. And my argument yesterday was, how long have you been trying to raise your kundalini when it takes 30 days? Okay,
No,
let's say you have not
yesterday.
done it, but who has done it? Simple 30 days, but nobody has. How many 30 days have we had on this planet and nobody has raised his kundalini enough as Jesus Christ? Nobody has raised his kundalini enough as your Amin Ra, because we consider him a historical figure, not even painted as a god, but we say Amin Ra walked the earth as a pharaoh, right?
Hmm.
We consider that Thor himself was a historical figure, my guy, you know?
Okay.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And bear in mind, it's the same thing I've been saying all day, bro. The kind of sense I make, it scares me because I'm
I
answering
mean,
questions Christians don't want to even touch on.
yeah. I mean, I agree with that. That some people don't want to touch on these. Okay, I'm gonna tell you something that I think. Um, this supernatural stuff, right?
Hmm.
Um, it's in the Bible as well. I mean, like you say, Christians don't touch on it, but it's in there. I mean, sacrificial stuff is in there, all that stuff. So, uh, would we then say that it's the dark part of the Bible?
No, we can't say
Okay.
it's a dark part of the Bible because at the end of the day, the Bible is simply relaying a story, right?
Yes.
Let's leave out all the
The
uh,
historical stories that I was just talking
yeah,
about.
because that's what the simple Bible is doing, right? We're telling a simple story.
Yes.
Can you ask the question again?
Um, I was asking about how we see the magical and this,
Oh yes,
this,
it goes
yeah.
back to what I said. Let me start the concept over again, so you can really understand me, and you can answer questions you haven't even asked yet, right?
Mhm.
So here's the whole concept. God, I don't want to say creates Eden, but God has Eden, right? God decides that I'm gonna make man in my own image and I'm gonna put him in Eden, right? While I'm making man in my own image, I put in the tree of good and knowledge of good and evil. I put in the tree of life. I put in the tree of what was the other tree again?
Don't
The
worry.
other, I forget the other tree, but then I do that, right? Then I give man free will in that environment, right? Then I tell man, I say, man, do not eat of the tree of knowledge of good and evil, for you shall surely die.
Okay.
I leave man there. Serpent comes in and God's serpent convinces man to eat.
Woman, because men did not.
I
Did not.
don't wanna, because I don't wanna dwell on that story too much because it's a big concept and I don't want to dwell on that story too much. So I just say man, because at the end of the day, it was Adam and Eve who consumed of the tree and they suffer the equal punishment of that. I don't want to say punishment here. So because it goes against my concept. They mind
Okay.
I'm saying concept. Man eats fruit of the forbidden fruit, right? What realizes all that and man is still in Eden, right? The serpent is labeled evil and is judged as such, right? It's given his place in earth. Let us say earth because he wasn't given his place in heaven, like he wasn't given his place in Eden either, because we don't know how he had access in Eden. But we do know that the serpent was cast down into earth, right? Given his punishment and cast down. Thank you. So now God is left with the trivial matter of who? Adam. Bear in mind that Adam is still in Eden. Adam is already eaten of the forbidden fruit, right? Meaning that Adam, in some sense, does not qualify for Eden, right? Adam, let us justify it by saying evil is not allowed in Eden, right? By God's rules, by God's law, right? Evil is not allowed in Eden. And yet Adam now has knowledge of it, right? So by virtue of Adam having the knowledge of good and evil, we say that God says, I shall make a place for Adam where I have made a place for evil, right? What does it do? It separates the waters of chaos and the waters of whatever, and he designates a place, dries it up, makes it land, and says, around all this evil, man shall have a place, right? And man shall have a place to experiment with his evil that he knows. He shall experiment with the good he knows, right? So man shall do himself, basically, right? Since he has free will, right? In that shape, way, or form, where do you blame God?
I mean, why should we blame God?
That's what I'm saying. We continue. Then we say, um, since Eden was not a place of evil, right? Was not a place of, and you were not a creature of knowledge, good and evil, right? Meaning that you're still the man that God had created, right? You deserve Eden, and now you are out of it. Simply because you know evil, God had to place you in that evil for you to get it out of your system, for you to find out as best as you can what evil is. And I still maintain that to all of that, God still promises you a place in heaven.
True.
True.
Yes, because I'm trying to keep your logic and listen to your logic. I'm trying to put my beliefs with it,
And
and process it in that way. Huh?
And you can have all what you want.
I mean, if I'm being honest, I don't really have a question. I mean, I feel. Do you believe then that Jesus was born of a virgin?
Of course I do. Diane, I'll argue that's why I'm dangerous. And I didn't quote the Bible. I didn't say Genesis chapter 3, verse 4 says that, oh, God said, let there be light. I didn't go there.
No, you didn't go there. I mean, you used the terminology of the woman. You didn't use the woman